Karoline KKK Leavitt stands at the podium in the White House briefing room, and she defiles the Constitution every day when she lies and makes excuses for taco tits. Here we have her talking about homeless people in D.C.
Topic. Regarding the president's efforts in Washington, D.C., do you have any specifics about how homeless people will be dealt with, where they would be moved to? What does this look like?
I do, yes, and it's an important question, so thank you for raising it. The Metropolitan Police Department, with the support of the new federal agencies who have been surging on the streets of the District of Columbia, are going to enforce the laws that are already on the books here in Washington, D.C. For far too long, these laws have been completely ignored, and the homelessness problem has ravaged the city. So D.C. Code 22-1307 and D.C. Municipal Regulation 24-100 give the Metropolitan Police Department the authority to take action when it comes to homeless encampments. So homeless individuals will be given the option to leave their encampment, to be taken to a homeless shelter, to be offered addiction or mental health services, and if they refuse, they will be susceptible to fines or to jail time. Again, these are pre-existing laws that are already on the books. They have not been enforced, which is part of the reason for this federalizing of the National Guard to bring in this assistance.
Okay, here's the deal. I understand there's a huge homelessness problem in the United States. I do. I have zero faith that these people are going to offer addiction services or housing. They're going to start arresting people because they're poor. That's where we are.
Well, she just said that they would arrest them if they didn't get addiction help, which tells you they don't really even understand addiction, because the first time you approach an addict about getting addiction help, whether they're homeless or whether they're a billionaire, they immediately get angry and upset. I just want to give you a quote here from Ruth Ben-Ghiat. She is a professor on authoritarianism and dictatorships. And here's a quote she has: "The history of authoritarianism teaches that the emergency must never be over, the adversary never defeated, and the number of enemies always expanding." So now they have added homelessness as their list of enemies. And Karoline usually wears her Christian cross. And we know that Christians should be with homeless people and help lift them up. But the biggest way to combat homelessness would be to raise wages.
Well, and here's the thing. What would Jesus do? Feed the poor, feed the sick.
Boy, you've been out of church a long time,
whatever.
sis.
The tenets are you help the needy.
Right.
They're going to throw them in jail. And then it makes me crazy. I think she's not wearing the cross because it burned her skin. But anyway, moving on to the welcome wagon that the United States government is going to roll out for war criminal, murderous dictator Vladimir Putin.
How did you settle on Alaska as the site for this? There were some other sites being discussed. This is like it was a midpoint between the two of you?
There were many sites discussed, but of course, Alaska is a state within the United States of America. So the president is very honored and looks forward to hosting President Putin on American soil.
What in the literal fuck is happening? I mean, seriously, Putin can't go anywhere because he would be arrested, but we're welcoming with open arms. We're excited.
Well, I mean, because I think Putin has the goods on Trump.
Yeah.
Trump's compromised by Putin. We've been talking about this for a year. So, of course, he's rolling out the welcome mat for him. And I'm sure and here's the thing about Trump. This is how easy he is to manipulate. Whoever has his ear the last moment before he gets to a microphone or to his phone is the opinion that he's projecting. So if he meets with Europeans who were like, he met with, I think it was the Prime Minister of Finland or President of Finland, I don't know what they call it. And this was a couple of months ago. Then he was like all chips in on kind of bashing Putin on the internet. And now he's going to meet with Putin, and he's going to come out after this and he's going to start bashing the United States of America. That's what he does because he has no convictions or no set beliefs in his body except for the survival of his narcissism. So he never finds out that he's a piece of shit that we all see him to be.
It's absolutely true. And what's so amazing to me is you have Benjamin Netanyahu that walks him like a dog with the, oh, I'm going to give you a Nobel Peace Prize. Putin knows that game too. It's going to be an embarrassment beyond embarrassment. But interesting that Benny Johnson was welcomed to the White House yesterday by Karoline Leavitt so warmly.
Have a lot of questions today. I'm happy to get to them, so let's get started. And as always, we'll start with our new media C, who is our podcast host today, Benny Johnson. Benny, why don't you kick us off, and thanks for being here.
Thank you, Caroline.
Okay, so let's go over who Benny Johnson is. let's just go over who is Benny Johnson. Put up the next slide. U.S. conservative influencers say they are victims of Russian disinformation campaign. Tim Pool, Dave Rubin, and Benny Johnson addressed allegations that a company they were associated with had been paid to publish videos with messages in favor of Russia. So I put that together because we've got Putin coming on U.S. soil, a murderous dictator, war criminal, and then the press pool hosts Benny Johnson the same week, so that the propaganda will just jet stream bullshit nonstop.
Putin has American Russian agents. He has them. He's been cultivating them for over a decade. And some of these podcasters are Russian agents. And I think they received hundreds of thousands of dollars. And this is just, all of this America First movement, what the Americans need to understand, that whatever MAGA says is something they're trying to cover up. We are the party of traditional family values. They're really not for family at all, because they don't want to make it easy for people to have a child. They make it super expensive to get health care, et cetera. The America First agenda is a jet stream of absolute bullshit, because you've got Israel's needs before ours. You have Russia's needs before ours. You have Donald Trump, who will not say a bad word about Viktor Orban. The dictator in Turkey. He always has the needs of dictators before that of the American public. But whose needs he has before all of that are his own personal needs. And a lot of these dictators have compromising information on Trump because he's compromised. The president of the United States, which so many people voted for him because they thought, oh, he's rich, he can't be bought. Well, his whole wealth before he became president again the second time was all smoke and mirrors. And he was a trust fund baby. And so he's so compromised by Russia, by Israel, and on and on.
Well, speaking of compromised, this goes to Donald Trump. I just want to remind everybody, bankrupted casinos, and he cannot run a business. The dollar is down. The jobs report, when he fired the person that collects the stats on the jobs report because he didn't like them, because he does a terrible job running the economy. Price everything he touches turns to dog shit. So what I thought was so interesting, because MAGA does this, MAGA believes Trump over reality. So here's what Karoline Leavitt said about the economy.
Inflation declines. This administration continues to be wholeheartedly committed to putting more money back into the American people's pockets. American real wages are up 1.3% over last year and have increased each month since President Trump took office. And small business optimism, according to this morning's report, has also reached a 5-month high. Ignore the panicans and trust in President Trump. That is our motto here at the White House. The America First.
Ignore the facts, and just believe in our dear leader. You must have blind obedience, because we are going full North Korea. We are in our North Korea era. I mean, come on.
It's crazy.
I guess this hits hard. But here's the thing we have to realize, Pumps. If you are a Fox News viewer and you know that they paid $1 billion for lying about the results of the 2020 election, and that all of their on-air personalities behind the scenes are bashing Trump, calling him a nut, saying he's crazy, saying all of his election conspiracy shit is crazy, and you still continue to pull up every night in your recliner and watch Fox News, you are not interested in facts. You are interested in confirming your bias that you want to wake up and hate. And that's just simply all there is to it. Everybody's just siphoned off in their own silos. And I have to give the right wing credit. They're very good at feeding propaganda to dipshits.
Yeah, they are. And they've got a lot of them. Please like this video, subscribe to our channel. Here is our book. Life is a Lazy Susan of Shit Sandwiches, where Jennifer goes hard in the paint on giving a BJ.
Oh my God.
Stick with us for more news.